Here at Light City Church, our mission is to bring the hope and freedom of Jesus to our community. Our community is made up of many different kinds of people with many unique experiences. What we would like to do is show that in the African American community, there is a diversity in every one of us. We will be sharing experiences of young, old, student, professional, blue collar, and everything in between. The purpose is to show that while there are commonalities such as skin color, upbringing, and even experiences with prejudice and racism, no two people are alike. Our differences and experiences are to be celebrated. We bring these to the table, and this helps build our community. These are my experiences being Black in America.
Hi, my name is Jessica, and I'm just going to share with you about a time or two that I experienced racism. The first memory I really have of it is when I was in 4th grade, and there was a classmate and I don't know what we were arguing, but I remember him saying, shut up, N-word. And we had always been taught by our grandma that that is a word that white people use to say, to describe, to refer to Black people. But she also told us that it's a low down, dirty person. So whenever she told us, whenever someone would say that to us, you return it, and you say in return to them, it's actually a low down, dirty person, and that describes you more than it does me. That was like our comeback for everything. And growing up, we've always had a mixture of different races and ethnicities around us, and we were never taught to hate anyone. We embraced everyone. Still to this day, we embrace everyone. So with that, I didn't. But anyway, so I remember I came home. That was my response to him, and I went home and I told my parents, and we went into the school the next day for a meeting. And I can't remember if it was the principal or like secretary, but someone in the office had said. No, I forgot one part. It's a predominantly white school. We had moved there, and I had cousins that had graduated from there, but they weren't really a diverse school. So back to the office. Whoever it was basically said that I should get used to it. Kids will be kids, but I should get used to it because it'll probably happen again, because that's basically just the world that we live in, and they brushed it under the rug. That's something I'll never forget. And then, so like moving forward, I just really surrounded myself with people. I was friends with people who my dad was friends with. So my dad was friends with their family. So then I knew, like, it was kind of like a safety thing. Like, I knew that this wasn't going to be an issue. As I grew older, I did start to extend my circle of friends, and I never had any issues in their homes. No one ever said anything. I never felt left out. I never felt like I wasn't. We were just kids, and we just enjoyed friendship. Like, no one ever pointed out, you're not like us. As I got older and came to college, I was reminded by my fellow peers, the Black girls mainly, that I acted white and they always called me light skinned, and never in my life have I been called light skinned, except for from these girls that I went to college with. And even in college, like, my group of friends, like, it was diverse. There was a bunch of us who just liked to hang out. We didn't talk about race because I guess it really didn't matter to us. But as I've gotten older, I have experienced more racism. There was a time in Pittsburgh where we were all dressed up, getting ready to go celebrate our girlfriend's graduation, and we got a flat tire, and we're in this neighborhood, and we're knocking on doors, and it is late at night, and all of these, like, Pittsburgh police officers come, and they're trying to fit. Now, mind you, we have on little dresses, high heels, and all these police officers come, and there was like 8 cars that came, like, lights going, and they're like, what are you guys doing up here? And like, we tell them, like, hey, we got a flat tire, and we just pulled off to this neighborhood. And they were like, oh, and drove off. Like, no one offered assistance. we ended up getting back in the car and trying to drive further down the road because we just wanted to get away from that neighborhood. But the police officers didn't offer any assistance, which is like mind-boggling to me. But I'm not saying all police officers are like that, because I have a lot of friends who are police officers and they wear their badge with pride. They are diverse. They're not bad cops at the end of the day. So I've learned in my years of growing up to truly just accept who I am. Like, I'm Jessica, and this is the way God created me. I'm not going to try to fit the narrative of what other people place on me. I'm not going to be the token black girl. I'm also not going to act like I grew up in the hood. I'm going to be Jessica, and love me for it, hate me for it, whatever the case may be. It's not going to define who I am. The state of the country that we're in right now it's crazy, but it's also really exciting to see a movement happening across the nations. And I'm glad to do my little part of it. So that's my experience in overcoming it. I couldn't think of any more stories. I guess I must have blocked most of them out, but I just encourage everyone to just share your story and talk with people who don't look like you, who don't practice the same beliefs as you. Get to know people, hear their stories, because our stories are remarkable. And maybe if you actually hear people's stories and what they've gone through, it makes it real. It's not just people making up a fake protest. Like, it's real, and we need to stand up against racial injustice. We need to stand up for all injustices. So I pray that bless you guys. Thank you, Victor and Michelle, for asking me to do it. I greatly appreciate it, and I cannot wait to hear everyone else's stories.